And welcome to another feature month. This month we are talking all things Murray River Council. And I'm joined by Izzy Rees. And I'm actually really excited to have this conversation because I don't know too much about her country change story, but I know a little bit, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. So Izzy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
So, Izzy, the very quick chat you and I had offline was that you've made a really, really big move to the Murray River Council area. Tell us about your journey.
Yeah, so my journey starts quite a few years ago now. So I'm originally from the UK, and I was born and bred there and grew up there all throughout my teens. And was living in London for a couple of years where I met my now partner, Kane. And Kane is originally from Echuca Moama, born and bred here and lived here his whole young life, and had moved to London for a couple of years, which is where we met. And then we decided after a couple of years there to make the change back to the Murray River Council area. And we've been here now for the last 7 years. So it was a big change going from London and city life to a rural kind of country town. But it's been an amazing transition. We've absolutely loved the journey. And yeah, we wouldn't change it for the world. We absolutely love living here.
Had you been to Australia before that?
I'd only been to Sydney for a holiday, so really hadn't been kind of to the rural areas of Australia before, and had learnt a bit through Kane and, learning about his, childhood and growing up here. But I really hadn't experienced it for myself. So when we moved out here, it was, a real, I guess, not a baptism of fire, but an opportunity to kind of really kind of get into the local lifestyle and, embrace it, which was really great coming from London and that whole city life and the fast-paced lifestyle that we had there, to actually slow down, to be able to enjoy our time outside of work and have that amazing quality of life was just such a great change, and it was the perfect time for us.
So, what misconceptions, if any, or preconceived ideas, if any, did you have about moving to Echuca Moama from the city lights of the UK, London?
I guess, I didn't have too many preconceptions because I really didn't know too much about it other than what I've been told. And I think probably the only thing was that, being kind of, 2.5 hours from Melbourne, it was going to be, small, remote, not much happening, kind of just really rural, I guess, and remote, and very, very different to what we'd experienced the last couple of years. So from that perspective, when I moved here, I was kind of expecting, for it to be very, very different. But actually what I realized is that there is so much that happens here in this beautiful town that we have. And it is such a tourist hotspot that there's always things happening. And that's just lovely because there's always people in town. We've got a really great, vibrant atmosphere to it, which you just don't associate with small country towns. So it was really different to what I kind of expected, in probably the best possible way.
So, could you share some more information around that? Because I think that is one of the biggest things that we hear on these webinars, is that people think there's going to be nothing to do and I'm going to be isolated, and then they land and they go, oh my gosh, I am busier, but it's a more quality of life busier.
Yeah,
Can you
absolutely.
that?
Yeah. So I guess, especially in city life, you're kind of bouncing from work to being, out in the nightlife, or just constantly traveling, doing things, spending so much time on travel, when especially in London, whether it's getting on the tubes and there's just
Them breaking down.
There's just so much travel involved within it. So getting out to the Echuca Moama area and where we live by the Murray, it's beautiful because everything's so close, and there's just always things happening, whether it's, sporting events or music festivals, or just even being out in town. It's just full of, life, which is kind of the beautiful thing about it. And we've just loved embracing that and being able to kind of spend our evenings, spending time with friends, still going out to beautiful cafes and having, city quality coffee, because since moving here, I've become obsessed with that, which has been great because in the UK, we're not known for our coffee. And, you know, to be 2.5 hours from Melbourne, which is kind of the hub of coffee, to have such amazing cafes and be able to kind of really indulge in that has been lovely. And the quality of food and all those experiences, there's just so much on offer that I could kind of talk to it for hours, but it's been lovely to kind of have the time outside of work to really spend with friends, have family close, which has been a real perk for us in that my partner's Kane's family are all here as well, so we really get to spend a lot of time with them, and it's just all here. We've got everything we need, which
And
is great.
I've just brought up a map as well, just to talk the proximity, because if we zoom in, we can obviously see Melbourne, this is the whole Murray River Council area. And we've got Wagga over here, Griffith, Canberra, Sydney's obviously up there further to the north, but you are such a close proximity to Melbourne.
Yeah, and we're the closest point, I think, to Melbourne on the actual river. So hence why it's such a tourist town, because so many people just want to come up from, you know, likes of Melbourne, you know, get away from the city on the weekends and bring their boats up and enjoy that sort of lifestyle. And we're lucky that living here means that we get to access that all the time and be out on the river and just, spend all our free time actually just enjoying ourselves and doing the things we love, which is great.
So aside from tourism, what other job opportunities are there? What are the other industries?
So I guess in our area, we've got such a range. Obviously tourism being one of the main ones, but we being kind of in a rural remote area have a lot of agriculture opportunities. So it's a great farming area. And with that comes obviously a lot of manufacturing jobs, a lot of trade jobs. It's a huge growing area in terms of housing and infrastructure. So anyone that's looking for kind of a career in any trade can easily get work here. There's so many opportunities, but also in kind of teaching, in any of kind of healthcare opportunities. You know, we've got high demand for doctors, anyone in kind of that medical space, dentists, all of those things. There is just so much on offer here that you can literally get pretty much any job that you'd want in the city out here in kind of our regional area. And obviously, you know, in the world we live in now, there's so much remote opportunities as well that people do kind of work from here and have their base here, but work for companies all over as well. So there really is opportunities for everything, but, you know, predominantly our kind of traditional industries would be, you know, your agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, trade, all of those fall into that.
And for yourself, what was it like finding a job? Because you've landed a role with the local council. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do there and your pathway to getting that job?
Yeah, of course. So moving out from London, I was very lucky to be able to continue working for my UK company while I was out here when I initially moved out. So I was very lucky to kind of have that, I guess, continuation of work while I kind of found my feet, settled in. And coming out on a working holiday visa, I could only work at one company for 6 months. So that did kind of limit my, I guess, opportunities in terms of what I wanted to do. I couldn't stay for too long at one job. But I was then lucky to kind of have the opportunity to start my own business for a couple of years. So it was a great area and so much support for me in that I started my own wedding and event business, which I ran for about 4 years. Which was amazing. And then it came time for me to kind of, spread my wings a little bit. And there's an amazing opportunity that came up at the local Murray River Council, which I now worked at for the last 8 months. And the team here have been fantastic. Kind of just the local support and the community around is just incredible. It's such a supportive place to be, and we're lucky that commutes are nice and short and we really get to enjoy that side of it as well.
Yeah, awesome. So what was your so obviously events, and now that you've stepped into the tourism, economic development kind of placemaker kind of side of things, it's a good transition by the sounds of it.
Yeah, so lots of transferable skills. And I came from a background of lots of, I guess, well, predominantly the event space, but also some experience in kind of marketing, but project management and those sort of roles, which has really lent itself well to working in this space. And we're so lucky that it's a really diverse role. And yeah, I get to cover a lot of spaces, including events and marketing and economic development locally, which has been great. So yeah, it just shows that there's opportunities for everyone, not only in kind of the career path you might have envisaged, but also to kind of expand into other areas and take on roles where there's you've got skills in different spaces.
And one of the things that I love about regional areas, particularly in the Riverina Murray area, is that the communities really rally behind businesses, but usually they've got a really strong relationship with council, and the people who work in council live in the region and care just as much because they're part
Absolutely.
of that community.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most understated aspects of regional economy is the fact that, and this statistic just came out last week from Destination New South Wales, I think, where 49% of the tourism spend in New South Wales actually was from regional events and
Yep.
tourism. So it really shows how much or how important regional areas are, not only to the Australian economy, but to the people living within those regions as well. And when you've got that symbiotic relationship, you have good events. I'll just say that, like, regions have great events.
They do, and everyone supports them so much. You know, you'll find, 80% of attendees would be locals, and people that live regionally, because we all get behind those events and want to see them succeed, and it means that our communities really get to benefit from them as well. So that's a really important part. And we pride ourselves locally on kind of the lifestyle that we offer, and that everyone kind of can enjoy what the community has. So yeah, that definitely plays a big part.
I'll also just share my screen again. Where'd you go? Here it is. Because if people head to the Country Change page and go to our places and look at the Murray River Council drop down, here you'll get a really good snapshot. I mean, the beautiful river, which, as you said before, is the centerpiece of the tourism and the lifeblood of, and it's funny how the river has been sort of, I guess, from the settlement of the region and how it was the lifeblood of the economy and how that's just changed and evolved over the generations and years. It's really cool, but it's just stunning. You've got the boats, but you've got a really big arts, culture, and food scene, as you were talking about before, and a range of beautiful small towns and villages, which are just as special and unique to the region. Do you of a weekend, I mean, it's part of your role as well, I guess, but before you were in this role, was that a big draw card for you, like going out and exploring what was actually just in your region?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, all the small communities that we do have around, as you mentioned before, have their own unique offerings. And, we'd go up to, Mathaura to go to different points in the river and visit friends and family in those areas, or go to the timber cutter that you've got pictured there, which is a beautiful restaurant that we have out in Mathaura, which is about 20 minutes from Moama, also on the river, but you get to kind of experience a completely different setting. The surroundings are different. You're in your beautiful kind of woodlands and forests, and it's just gorgeous. So, definitely, from our perspective, to be able to get out, spend our time in different places, seeing different things, experiencing local wildlife, just being so close to all those different areas with each with their own unique offerings is great. It's definitely a look on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like we said, if you are interested in finding out more about the Murray River Council area, do jump onto our website. Izzy is actually the point of contact for council if you are wanting some more information about making a country change to the Murray River Council area. Her contact details are on the website, and she can the councils are really, really supportive of helping people identify whether or not their region's the right fit, and identifying what opportunities there might be, whether it be employment, housing, you know, where are those opportunities for businesses and entrepreneurship as well, as industries might be calling out, as you said, the medical industry is really sort of wanting it, and teaching, and obviously some information about transport, livability, et cetera, et cetera. So, Izzy, thank you so much for sharing your journey. Was there anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners and viewers? Maybe, I don't know, your top tip or your number one learning from your country change experience?
I think for me, just embracing it and doing it. You know, we all sometimes hesitate and think, oh, should I make this change? And I guess for me, it was a big one, moving, you know, not only overseas, but, you know, completely different part of the world. And I think, you know, just taking that leap, embracing the opportunity, and really immersing yourself in the culture and the community is really important when making that change, and realizing that, you know, everyone is so supportive, wants you to succeed, and is here to really make that change a great one. So my advice is do it, you know, really, just make that the next opportunity, and yeah, you'll be surprised how, you know, incredible it's going to be.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.